in this presentation, what we're going to do is we are going to make it stick. So all the plans you've learned so far, all the principles, we're going to put them together into the Empowered Blueprint so that you can go forward and create goals. So we have 3 basic principles. And as you know, I'm a guy who likes principles that have helped busy professionals set goals, achieve them with ease, even with demanding jobs, busy families, and having claimed that they've got no time, too stressed, too busy, whatever it is. Now, as usual, I want you to grab pen and paper, close out any social media, remove those distractions. Please give me your undivided attention because I will show you the way. And hopefully, with a bit of consistency on your part, willpower will no longer be a problem, motivation won't be a problem, and you'll be able to make it stick. Just like these guys did, and many others with them. And I know this because I've been there. This system that I've developed, which is not unique, there's plenty around, but mine is, I suppose it is unique to me because I've lived it. I've been through the problems, I've overcome them, I've learned along the way, and I've developed things that have worked for lots of other guys. And I've been able to maintain that lean physique throughout the years, in my 40s, getting stronger, bigger, or leaner, should I say, more muscular, fitter, healthier, happier, more focused, more productive, pushing forward with business, using my Empowered Blueprint. And I've showed you this before, my 10-stage sequence, very, very simple, which we can split into the 3 principles that we're going to cover now. And again, this has led to me being that overweight guy making mistakes. Mistake number 1 was the goal was never defined. I was always, and the guys that I come across as well now, always chasing a goal, but not really knowing what the goal was. I just wanted to lose weight, get fit. But I couldn't say what the actual defined goal was. How much weight, how fit, how happy. If someone can tell me a joke, I'll be happy. That doesn't mean I've achieved my goal. So you've got to think to yourself, what does the end look like? What will enable you to do? How will the benefits impact your life, but also the life of others? But it didn't end there because I never laid any foundation. So when I set off on a goal, I was basically building my structures on wet sand and quicksand, which is doomed to collapse in time. And no wonder I failed. I was so keen to get going, I didn't have that end goal in sight. I didn't sit down and spend the time to look at the benefits that were involved. And I had no structure, I had no systems. I just decided I was going to work hard. And when it got hard, I just dug in and relied on willpower and I relied on discipline. But that let me down. And I could only try and keep that up for so long before it became too much of a struggle. I was doubting whether what I was doing was right. And I was questioning the things I was doing. And I ultimately ended up giving in. And then coupled with that I never asked for any help. I would go away, I would show my stiff upper lip. I'm a man after all. I don't need help. I just get on with things. And it used to weigh heavy. Distraction used to seep in. Drink. Friends would ask me if I would go to the pub. There wasn't really much social media when I was younger, but as I got older, I was losing myself in social media and minutes would turn into hours. I would lose myself in other distractions that would take me away from doing what I needed to do. So I ended up being busy doing something, but that something wasn't productive. And after a while, I couldn't put a finger on what was going wrong. It wasn't sustainable, so I simply quit. But using the empowered principles, I've been able to achieve what I would think is a successful physique, a successful mindset, and a few relatively successful businesses, which enable me to live the life that I want to live and enjoy things on my terms. And there's no reason why you can't have that with the principles that I'm going to go through now. So principle number 1 is identify the prize. Goals are easier if they matter something to you and they are specifically defined. So if you want to lose 2 stone, what does that 2 stone mean to you? Yeah, what does it mean to you? And then you've got to believe you can achieve it. Remember the ABC that I talk about. You've got to have a can-do attitude. You've got to believe you can do it and have the balls to go out and go for it. And then have milestones along the way, because your end goal might be some distance in sight. And you've got to have those milestones to tick off to feel as though you're achieving something. And therefore, you've got clarity on where you are, how you're getting on, how long it's going to take, what your progress is like. So you can, and it's as simple as this: specify the goal. I want to lose 9 kilos in 90 days, which means I should lose around 3 kilos every 30 days. The benefits I've got is I've got more energy. I look good. I feel good. I can run around with the family. I can live longer. I'll be more productive at work and ultimately make more money. So I can spend money on the things that I love doing. And every 3 kilograms that I go down, I'm going to reward myself with a golfing day. That's just an example, by the way. I'm not a particularly golfing fan. I'm not very good at it at all. But then I've never tried, really. I've not put my mind to it. But there we go. There's a lesson there. Just like Mark did. Fraud prevention officer, bouncing up and down the country, Norwich, Ipswich, everywhere, Glasgow. And he tried Herbalife. He'd gone for the shake option, every other diet. He tried personal trainers that just trained him for 45 minutes. He'd sweat, he'd go home, he'd eat biscuits. He'd be on the road, he'd be eating hotel food, he'd be eating convenience food from a service station. But he got to a point where he couldn't carry on. Now he's gone from 24 stone at 48 to 18 stone at 52. Packed full of muscle. Yep, packed full of muscle. He's 6'7". He's now a unit. And he's done that through following this blueprint and the simple principles that I've covered before. Now, mistake number 2 is there was no foundations laid. And you build that structure on quicksand. And we've already covered this. Yeah, it's doomed to failure if you don't lay the foundations first. So principle number 2 is set yourself up for success. Create that environment, the behaviors, the habits that will lead to success. Remember, you don't win a game of football by wanting to win 2-0. You win the game of football by putting a team together, teaching them the basics, focusing on passing, moving, putting the ball in the back of the net, defending, communication. So you're creating that environment. You're putting the behaviors of the players together. You make the players better by looking after themselves, by looking after each other. And you let those habits executing regularly, i.e. training, skills. And that leads to success. And in our blueprint, we set that time aside. Yet we focus on the now and we make it mandatory. So plan your day. Plan your week. There's no getting around it. If you don't, those that plan succeed. All you have to do then is get up in the morning, execute the plan. If the plan doesn't go to the way you want it to, review the plan, stay agile. Yeah, don't make it too rigid. And move on. Learn from the mistakes that you've made, which we'll cover in a short while. And remove temptation. Biscuits, get rid. Alcohol, get rid. If you have to have chocolate in because you've got kids, put it in a certain cupboard and ban yourself from that cupboard. Have a clear plan of action and what it is you need to do. Daily and weekly tasks. And then use any accountability and support available, whether it's friends, family, coaches, mentors, colleagues, whatever it is. And you're not going to succeed, though, if you've got no rules regarding temptation and you just go and help yourself whenever you want. That late night snacking. There's no plan of action, so you get up and you wonder what you're doing, and you will lose a couple of hours of the day because you're chasing your tail. You're fighting other people's fires. And you act on emotion. You don't feel well. You don't believe it's going well. You rely on willpower, and willpower leaves you. So you put in these handrails that I've spoke about. Use principles. Use standards. Checklists that you can tick off and you can measure and you can see where you are. Just like Alan did. Systems engineer who dropped 24 kilograms in 20 weeks. And he'd struggled, 48 years old. He just let life get on top of him. He drank too much, didn't move enough. He's always too busy, bouncing from one job to the next, earning money for his family, buying the house, buying the car, golfing trips. He's putting everything first but himself. He burnt out, reached out, and we helped out. We dialed it all back, made it super simple, made an agreement. We tracked it, we reviewed it, and we came up with a simple plan, and all he did was execute. Execution is everything, remember. And then mistake number 3, you struggle in silence. You don't do anything. You don't ask. You don't tell anybody. You just keep banging your head against the wall, taking the paracetamol and hoping for the pain to go away. And you can't put a finger on what's wrong because you're so embroiled into it, you're so caught up in the weeds that you can't see the bigger picture. Well, what we need to be able to do with principle number 3 is remember that today is the day. There is no tomorrow. Yesterday is gone. And you need to focus on the challenges of the day and just execute the plan you've got laid out. Just accept it'll go wrong from time to time. Remember, stay agile. Be fluid. Have routines and strategies that deal with struggle. Accept that struggle is coming. It's a constant in life. So what do you do when struggle appears? Don't just bury your head in the sand, hope it'll go away. See opportunity within the obstacles. Learn, adapt, improve, move on. And you can do this by revisiting your goals daily. Forget your fails, but learn from them. Remember to move on. And even when you don't feel like it, do it anyway. Because all you've got to do is win the next battle. Yeah, if you're stood in front of the cupboard wanting the biscuits, the only battle you've got to win is to not eat the biscuits. The rest doesn't matter in that moment. Remember, live the moment. Today is the day. So you've got to develop positive habits and track them. Yep, you've got to track them and learn from your mistakes. So when we're practicing that bedtime ritual and we're getting things wrong, what went wrong? What went wrong on the 14th and 15th of May that led to a double fail? Always aim never to fail twice. It's okay to fail, just don't fail twice. So after the 17th, after the 20th, after the 23rd, Gary got it together and put a couple of good days of success. And if you can win 5 days out of 7 each week, you are well on the road to success. And then when you're feeling down, use things, use your tools, use your strategies such as the Daily Prime and the Daily Pride to build you up ready for the day, to congratulate yourself for a great day that you've just had. Because that is what will lead to long-term successful trend, regardless of the hiccups that you have. And these acute peaks that you can see are hiccups. The weight's gone back up. However, the long-term trend is success. You've got to focus on your behaviors for those long-term trends. Like I'm a property consultant who got himself into a state of 48. He was working 16, 18-hour days and looking after his sick father who was in Christie's with cancer. He'd lost a sizable portfolio due to the stress. And rightly so, he was duly stressed even more. And he had to work harder just to recuperate his losses. So he piled the weight on. He came to see me, reached out. He admitted that he needed help. He set a plan, held him accountable. We managed his setbacks, because he had setbacks, many. But he developed strategies. Every setback, we developed a new strategy. And not only did he lose 14 kilograms of body fat, but we built some solid muscle at 48 years old. And he's looking in great shape. And we did it through this empowered blueprint, which we've just gone through. You make your future plan. You get clear on the why. You create the milestones. You set time aside to do the things you need to do in order to reach them. It's all right creating the milestones, but if you don't set the time aside, you're never going to reach it. Focus on the now. Set your standards. Make them mandatory. And then revisit your goals often. Tick them off daily. It's accountability. Forgive your fails. Daily pride, daily prime. Learn and move on. How can you improve? What went wrong? Why did it go wrong? And then do it anyway. Even when you can't be bothered, and repeat. Just like all these guys did. Some of these I've gone through case studies. Some of them you will recognize, but there are many more. And don't forget, you've got an opportunity now. for a strategy session. I'll help you identify and get past any issues that are holding you back personally. I'll give you the ideas. You can identify the roadblocks. We can gain clarity on what it is you want. Conduct an audit on the responses that you filled in during your assessments. And then we can create a bespoke roadmap and point you in the right direction. Just imagine, just close your eyes now and imagine what you would be able to do with the simple, proven plan that will get you these types of results. All you have to do is execute the plan, stick to it. And if you want the accountability, reach out, just like these guys did. And we can be there every day. Have you done what you said you were going to do? If not, why not? What obstacles have you got coming up that we can help you overcome? Let's forecast forward and beat the challenges before they even become a challenge, and teach you along the way what it takes to become that empowered man that has focus, attention, drive, determination, and more importantly, results, letting you live the life you want to live. So the action steps are simple. Complete the assessment, create your plan, map out your daily tasks, act, so do, track, review, adapt, do again, do it anyway, and book yourself a strategy session. Do it. And if you've got any questions, I'd love to hear them. Feel free, reach out, speak to me. More than happy to help out where I can. Even if you decide that you don't want to work with me, it's fine. Reach out. I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction, because there might be somebody else out there that is more suitable to you. I understand that. I don't worry about that. What I'm worried about is seeing people succeed. And I want you and every other guy out there to be the role model to the kids, to the future, and live healthy, happy lives. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget, reach out.